Hello guys. So this morning I received a message. Someone asked me how to go about having fun learning languages. Now I know I made a lot of videos talking about this, having fun learning languages. A lot of the videos I've made talk about having fun learning language, how you should have fun learning language. But a lot of people haven't seen all my videos, so I get these questions very often. So I'll just go ahead and make another video talking about how to have fun learning languages. So as usual, I like to talk about my experiences when I first started learning Chinese. Okay, because that was the beginning of my language learning journey. So yeah, the basically, like I said before, you have to make sure when you start, especially for beginners, because beginners don't necessarily have a way of learning the language. They don't have a methodology. So it's best to get like some advice. You can ask some experienced language learners, get some advice from them, and then you can go by their advice, and then eventually you'll come up with your own methodology, your own way of learning the language. But essentially, to have fun, you have to interact. You want to have interaction with the native speakers, either it be in person or online in the chat room. You want to have interaction with them and use everything you learn. Okay, use everything you learn in that language. So for me, when I first started learning Chinese, I didn't even really have a course like Teach Yourself. Basically, I had a basic Barron's, I think it was called Barron's Chinese. It had a small book. It was audio cassette, and I had a dictionary, and that was pretty much it. And all I did was just I the stuff I learned. I went to chat whenever I was at home. I had a computer. I would go to the chat rooms. I would hang on in chat rooms and find Chinese people to practice stuff I learned. And I remember one of the chat rooms I used to go to called it Zhongwen.com. That was like a very popular a very popular website online, www.zhongwen.com. I used to go there all the time to practice Chinese. And it was fun because like I said, you learn the stuff you learn, you use it on the native speakers, and they'll give you some feedback, and they praise you a lot and say, "Oh, wow, you speak really well." And they ask you where you from. They asked me where I'm from. I told them I'm American, and they said they didn't believe me and all that. And it was like funny. That was like the funniest part. And they say they didn't believe me, so that made me feel good. So that kind of encouraged me to learn more, and I wanted to learn more and more and more and more and more. And not only that, whenever I was hanging out with a buddy, we used to go to all kinds of places. We used to go to the mall and go to the Chinese places in the mall. Uh, find opportunities to practice Chinese. We used to go to the campus, go to the library, walk around, just looking for native speakers of the language. We went to Barnes and Nobles and met some Chinese speakers there. I mean, just it was a fun process, and it was so funny. I remember us going to we went to a Chinese restaurant. We went to a Chinese restaurant, and I was in there practicing Chinese, and there were the cooks in the back. They were so surprised. They stopped cooking. So they had food cook. They still had food cooking. They came up to the counter just to see. They were so surprised. They have food in the back burning, coming up to speak some Chinese. That was probably the funniest thing. That was the funniest time we had when we practicing Chinese. And another thing, let's see. I think, yeah, when I first started learning Chinese, I kept doing that, and after 3 months, it was I'll say about three. It's about 3 going on 4 months. I was able to be conversational in Chinese, and like I said, I never studied grammar. I just had a basic phrase book, a dictionary, and I just kind of learned stuff from context. When people say stuff to me, I like ask them what it meant, or when I go to the chat room and I saw something, I would write it down and then go research it and use that on somebody else. I was doing that, and it just built up. So I was able to have like conversations. I was conversational in Chinese by like the end of 3 months. So I mean, it didn't really take that long. It was just a lot of practice going on, and yeah. And then I had this other opportunity. I think it was like after 3 months, I had another opportunity where I got this chance to work in a Chinese restaurant. Actually the Chinese buffet. It was called Nee's Dynasty in Montrose. I think it's Montrose in Akron, Ohio. And I worked out there for about a month or two. It was really fun. I was like washing dishes. I was a dishwasher. I had a buddy I was working with, another American guy, and we were back there washing dishes and nothing, all Chinese, like in the back. They couldn't speak no English. And that was the funnest part because I got to hear Chinese a lot when I worked back there. I heard Chinese a lot and I got to practice a lot. So I was, while washing dishes, I was just go practice with the Chinese people, and then they would come over. And there were some waitresses come over and ask me to help them and stuff. So that was a fun. I was like, that was fun for me to have that type of job. And I worked there for about a month or two, and then that was about it there. But yeah, I was just interacting with the native speakers and just using stuff I've learned from like the books or from different conversations. And to this day, I've never studied Chinese grammar, never. And I'm over an intermediate level in Chinese. And now I know I said like before that once you get to at least an intermediate level, go back to study grammar. But I still haven't to this day studied Chinese grammar. I just never did. Like I've never studied Chinese grammar. I don't even know grammar rules in Chinese. I just know how to like put stuff together, and I just learn stuff from context. So I guess you could say I learned the language naturally. I didn't really study. That's the funniest part. I didn't really study despite having like some course book like that Barron's and a dictionary. I didn't really study. I just kind of like I said, I just used a lot of phrases, a lot of phrases. I learned a lot of phrases and I built up off those phrases, and that was just pretty much it. So when you start learning a language, you don't necessarily have to start learning grammar. That actually takes the fun away from the learning process at the beginning because you have no foundation in the language, none whatsoever, and you jumping into grammar. So I would just get like a dictionary, get a phrase book. You can get you a teach yourself, and like I said, the technique I put up online, the technique I showed you guys, the same stuff. It's pretty much that. You follow that and just practice that with the native speakers, and you just, I mean, you'll get good in the language. I mean, it takes time, but if you have fun, if you're having fun at the same time, you won't even realize like the time like passing by so quickly. So you have to do stuff like that and put stuff in context. I don't want to be able to, if I take a class, I don't want to wait until like the fourth year to be able to say something simple like, oh, when we talked about the snow, when I talked with this guy about the snow, about this terrible weather, I made him laugh. Like I made him laugh, like that type of construction or something like that. I don't want to wait until like the fourth year to learn something like that. I need to learn, and when I want to say something, I need to learn it right away. And that's how that's what you do in the language. The stuff you want to say, you learn it right away. There's no waiting until like the end of the chapter or waiting until the fourth year of the language course. You have to learn that stuff like right away. Okay, if you have to ask someone, ask them. That's what you do. So that makes it fun too. That makes it really fun when you want to learn how to say something. You want to say something and you find out how to say it real quick and put that together with other stuff you learned. That makes it really really fun. That's very fun. So yeah, I don't know what else much more to say about having fun learning languages. I mean, like I said, I'll talk about this before, and just you have to make it enjoyable. You have to make it enjoyable, and just try not to focus on grammar at the beginning, and find stuff like I said, phrase books, get a course, and just put stuff together, man. Like just put it together and just use it. Everything you learn, you have to use it. You have to use it. Okay. So yeah, it'll be interesting topic. What are you guys doing to have fun learning the languages? And that's another thing. Once you learn how to do it, when you know how to know what you're doing, you know exactly what to learn. Like in the language, you know how to you know what you need to do. You won't. It will be fun. You won't get stressed out. No, because that takes away the stress because you won't have to. Oh man, I don't know what I should do. I don't know what to do. When you know what to do, that takes off a lot of stress and it makes it fun. That adds more fun to the process. Like for me, I have no stress learning any language because I already know what to do. So I just relax and have fun with the language. It just, I just put my time in, and that's it. And I get my results. And I'm having fun the whole time. So I think the biggest problem for many people, they don't know how to go about learning languages. They never learned language before, so that makes it hard and they're stressed out. They don't know what to do. So yeah, and you have to know what to do in order to make it fun. So let me know what you guys think. Tell me how are you guys having fun learning languages? How are you guys? What is keeping you guys motivated? Keeping you guys motivated for learning languages. So I look forward to this discussion with you guys. And yeah, thanks for viewing the video. And we'll talk to you guys soon.